This 4,000 US dollar incentive is available to all 50 states in North America. All of them. You can get this incentive if you qualify, and it brings down the price of a used EV from $25,000 to $21,000. Used electric cars are now available in the US at a much cheaper price. Well, in particular in California, you can get an additional $4,000 discount on your EV, but there is one proviso. They have to qualify. You have to make the right income, and the car has to be priced at $25,000 US dollars or below. Now, there are actually quite a lot of cars at that price, including Tesla Model 3s, in the US right now. So it is very possible that you can qualify. But here are the rules. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. Great to see you. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Sam Evans. I'm the Electric Viking. And it's amazing to see how much the price of EVs has come down over the past few months. Enormous. What a change we've seen. Now, unfortunately, EVs still keep their resale value very well. People have complained, oh, Tesla's prices have destroyed my resale. Not really true. EV prices are still actually quite high. In fact, often people are asking as much as the new price for used electric cars still. Now, of course, you'll be able to negotiate the prices down. So if the price of the EV you're looking at is more than $25,000, make an offer, because there's a lot of used EVs available right now. The point of this entire exercise is to help out people who don't make a huge amount of money. If you make $50,000 to $70,000 US dollars, you're basically in the perfect age bracket for single people. That is the minimum amount you need to actually get the $4,000 tax credit. Now, if you make less than $50,000, you can still get a tax credit. It just won't be the full $4,000. If you make more than $70,000, you don't get the $4,000 used vehicle credit. But if you're a couple, different story. So maybe you can just apply as a couple. If you're not a couple, just, I don't know, post an ad on Craigslist or whatever. Anyhow, if you're a couple, the income requirements completely change. And you need an annual combined income of between $65,000 and $150,000. That's a pretty wide gap. There's probably quite a lot of people, I imagine, in the US who have an income of between $65,000 to $150,000 as a couple. There is one issue though. You don't get the credit until up to 7 months in the future when you file your taxes. So you might have to take a loan out on a higher amount and pay interest on that money for 15 months or for a little while until you can actually do your tax return, get your taxes done, and then you get the $4,000 credit. You can only buy your car from a licensed dealer. That's a bit of an issue, I would say, but apparently there is quite a lot, according to Paul Foss's article on Clean Technica, there is quite a lot of dealers in the US that have used electric cars. A lot of them are priced at a little bit more than $25,000, not much more. But I think if you call around, you'll be able to get one of these EVs for less than $20,000 or $25,000 or less. Now there's so many EVs available on the used car market, it means it's very likely you can actually qualify for this incentive. Can you get a other EV that's not a Tesla? Yes, you can. GM, you can get a Chevy Bolt EUV. Also, plug-in hybrids are eligible for the credit, just like fully electric vehicles. Some people think that that's not good. I don't really care personally. I think, hey, the more vehicles out there that people are more likely to run as electric cars, the better. But that said, I don't personally call a plug-in hybrid an electric car. That's my definition of it. What this means is that because the maximum price you can get the credit for is $25,000, it's going to bring the price of your car down to $21,000. Yes, you most certainly will be able to find a Tesla Model 3 for $25,000 US dollars if you're willing to negotiate with the dealer. I mean, I'm convinced that considering the price and the massive number of EVs that are for sale in the used car market at dealers right now, you'll be able to get one. That means you can get away with getting an EV that'll be pretty good for $21,000 US dollars. Should you get a used one, a used Tesla EV or something else? Well, that's a good question. I signed up a while back to the Tesla Mileage Club on Facebook. People just post pictures of their odometers showing how many Ks they've done, and then they explain what they've had to do. So a lot of people post an odometer. They say, I've done 150,000 miles. I've done 100,000 miles. I've done 200,000 miles. I've done 250,000 miles. And then they'll say what they had to do to fix the car. almost always they say nothing. They say, I changed the tires and I've gone through one set of brake pads, if that. Should you get a used EV? Well, if you can find one that has lowish kilometers, I personally would absolutely do it. Especially considering the apparent incredible reliability of the most important part of the car, which is the battery pack. Everything else can be replaced. Yeah, you don't want to have to replace things. The best part is no part, so you don't have to replace the transmission. But it seems to me, from all the posts that I've read, and that I've seen hundreds, I've probably seen thousands actually, that it's most likely you won't have any issues with an EV at all, in comparison especially to the issues you will get for certain with a gasoline or diesel powered vehicle. All the filters you have to go through, all the oil changes you have to go through. I mean, that's why Tesla say you don't need to service the car, right? Massive benefit. Brings down your cost for servicing. Massive advantage to people who are lower income earners, being able to not have to worry about having all these ridiculous servicing costs and then all these ridiculous part replacements. Like, look at the average service you've got to do when your car has hit about 80 to 100,000 miles. You have to do this major service and it costs you a couple of $1,000s. It's ridiculous. EVs, you don't require that. Now, some EVs are more reliable than others though. So definitely do your homework on the EV you're looking at. Now, if you're looking at a used EV and you're not in the US, then I personally highly recommend you get an EV with a lithium iron phosphate battery pack. From what I've seen in China, in Europe, I've been tracking all this stuff. I look at all this information very frequently because of what I'm doing here on YouTube. Those are the battery packs that will last the longest. It's true not just based on anecdotal information, it's true based on factual information. These battery manufacturers say their batteries get 30% to 40% more cycle life. And what I'm seeing is that is correct. I mean, how many recalls have you seen on Tesla battery packs with lithium iron phosphate chemistry? Basically none. And they are the most common vehicle, the most common electric car on the road today. Now, keep in mind, it's not just Teslas that run these battery packs. There's other EVs like the BYD Blade battery going into Tesla vehicles as well. That's got lithium iron phosphate. So BYD Atto 3, that would be a good used car. There's not that many of them on the market right now. The prices are still high, but the prices for those will come down. No question. I hope you've got something out of this video. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comment section, and thank you for watching.